exploring the world of Warcraft and the art of machinima. We present to you the World of WoW podcast. With your hosts, Eric Fullerton, Brent Copeland, and Wes Wilson.
World of WoW, episode 39, recorded on August 23rd, 2009.
Hello there, I'm Eric Fullerton.
I'm Brent Copeland.
And I'm Wes Wilson.
And we are going to be talking about some crazy BlizzCon 2009 stuff today. A lot has happened this year. Unlike last year's BlizzCon, where it was a real snooze fest as far as I'm concerned.
It didn't sound like a snooze fest the way y'all talked about it. Y'all were so excited.
Well, okay, there were a lot of things on the, the different panels. You had the developer panels, you had the raid panels, the game mechanics, all that stuff. A lot of new stuff was talked about last year, but the big announcement was
the wizard class, right?
Yeah, the wizard for
Diablo 3.
And of course, this year they said Diablo 3 we get the monk. But we're there for the WoW stuff, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm totally pumped for some StarCraft 2 and some Diablo 3, but, that was the big news in 2008.
Yeah, they actually had several tiers. They had a lot of StarCraft 2 stuff, a lot of Diablo stuff, and a huge chunk of BattleNet stuff, which was really compelling at this year's BlizzCon, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, this BlizzCon actually invigorated me in the whole game. For just the whole last expansion, I was not excited about. I mean, I basically quit the game for a while because of it, and this one has made me just I cannot wait for this expansion.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into more.
I have to say, Brent, I'm really surprised you didn't enjoy this expansion all that much. I think there's a lot of great stuff here.
To me, it's more the same. It just overall, it just felt more the same.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm very excited about going back and revisiting Azeroth, though, with the changes.
Yeah, and the fact that the expansion is basically letting us have a new experience from level 1 throughout the whole career of leveling the character. Before it was all about 1 through what was 1 through 10 or 1 through 15 or whatever. You had new content with Blood Elf and Draenei intro areas. And then you had to endure a bunch of old content, and then you finally get to the new stuff. But now it's wow, I can't wait to make a new character. Before it's oh God, I don't want to make a new character.
Let me ask you this. Now, there's one of the basic elements of the whole Cataclysm thing is that they're going to reshape Azeroth. Now, as you come in at a level 1 character, are you going to be in the reshaped Azeroth?
I think so. Some people were thinking that they would use the phasing technology to basically, until you got to a certain level, you were basically back in time working up to the Cataclysm. But I think they basically said and announced that it was changed for everyone.
Yeah.
But they talked about how the coastline was going to change. You remember they had that one slideshow where they showed various shots of a single shore, and I assumed that the sea was going to roll in at various points in time based on, things you did in the quest line or something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll see some changes. Maybe the Cataclysm will just happen. The expansion hits, the Cataclysm happened, right? When the expansion happens, that would be kind of odd. So they've got to show the shaping. So to me, it's it's got to happen over a little bit of time to make it an event instead of just bam, the world's changed.
Now, one of the questions to the developers in the Q&A panel was, will you have to get this expansion to see the Cataclysm, to see the effects of the new faced world? And no, you will not be able to go to the old Badlands and the old Desolace ever again, ever, even in the regular game. So you go home and you buy this game without the expansion, you got the new Cataclysm.
You live in the new world,
exactly,
just without the new stuff. I wonder if you can fly in the new world. You can't get flying if you don't have the expansions,
right? Well, the things that you're going to see in the expansion are things like the level cap, the 85 level cap, the new starting zones, of course, the Worgen and the Goblin, stuff like that. That's what you get. Oh, archaeology, any new skills and stuff like that. But the world has been changed, and it will be changed forever. And I'm really happy about that. It sounds kind of like it kind of sounds like a World of Warcraft 2 has kind of come out.
And maybe it is. Maybe this is the smart way to do. If EverQuest had thought about it instead of making EverQuest 2, let's just completely change the world. At the same time, get a little bit of graphics update. Because that's what they were talking about, is they're never going to do a full-blown graphics jump. Right, they're just going to add in things slowly as it progresses, so they keep everyone with their graphics. But like they're changing water in this expansion, so the water's going to look better, and so they'll keep changing little things like that. So in an overlong period of time, it will have jumped largely in graphics.
That's great, because I was just tired of seeing in-game content. All the people that have been around for the last 2 or 3 years, they're the ones that get rewarded with new stuff. And it's really freaking hard to get a new friend to play WoW, because you're like, in 6 months, we're going to have a blast playing together. Now, you're going to have to go home and you're going to have to study and do your homework.
That's true. That's true.
Come on.
I just had a friend at work who this is the first time he's played WoW on a real WoW server.
Yeah.
And he's level 50.
He's been playing on some other servers?
He played on a fake server before.
Oh, one of those.
And he didn't like it because, things don't work well on those servers. There's a reason why those servers don't work, regardless of everything else being legal and whatnot. But he started playing, and he is loving the game. He's level 15 now, a little warlock in our guild. So that's awesome. But it's like, I can't really do anything with you. I can run around with my 15th level character with you too, but really at this point, just level up, enjoy exploring and doing stuff like that. If I wouldn't play with them, I'd kind of spoil things, right? It's just like, here, follow me. We're going to go do these 5 quests that I know by heart. Instead, no, you just go do those 5 quests that I've done 500 times.
Yeah, and he kind of missed the heyday anyway, so he's kind of alone. It's probably pretty quiet and boring.
Which will change in the next patch, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. It's like, you change the world, now you make every single level fun, not just 1 through 15 and 70 through 80.
Yeah, but especially with this next patch, which is one of the things they announced, is they're going to be adding in, kind of like how Battlegrounds work. You'll be able to do a looking for group across servers, across your Battleground group. And this is one thing my friend was talking about. He's like, how do I get a group to do Wailing Caverns? And I'm like, I'll run you through it one day. That's really all you can do. You can holler out and hope to get people, but it's like, desolate there, and having people within, a 5-level range kind of to do it is even more difficult. But if you can do it amongst all these servers, then you'll actually be able to experience all that there is.
I've missed every single instance in Northrend except for Nexus, because since I was behind the leveling curve, and I don't really like getting in pugs, I've just have ignored all the instances, which is the exact opposite of the way that I played the other expansions. My entire game in the previous 2 sections of Warcraft was level with friends, then we play an instance, and the goal was we're getting ready for the next instance, not we're just leveling. But my wife and I have been running around, and we've been duoing all this stuff in Northrend, and it's been fun, but I've lamented the lack of
dungeons
of instances.
Well, let me help you out there. This might help you out a bit. When you get to 80, you'll be doing all those instances, because they're all heroic, right? Level 80, so you will get to do all these. I've done all but 2 now. So the key is going to be, I need to find a group that is willing to let me experience it, as opposed to just go, okay, come here, shoot that, come here, do this. And I played Dungeons and Dragons online as well, and the high level groups that play that game are really bad about that. It's just a run. Literally what you do is you follow the herd, and if you encounter something, you attack it. Yeah, and sometimes it's, okay, zoned in. And then you say, oh, I've completed the dungeon. Yeah. So, it's not that bad. You still got to fight bosses and later on. So what's next? What do we get into? Should we talk about our do a quick run over of our status before we start talking about the big changes in the new expansion? Sure.
Did we even do a rundown, a little table of contents of the whole episode?
We didn't. No, in our now loading.
I guess just, a little late here, but, we're obviously going to be talking about BlizzCon 2009, and our thoughts, of course, on the new expansion. We're going to probably definitely not cover every single thing that has changed and everything that's been announced, because that's up to you to go and seek those out on different websites and do your homework. Come here for the commentary. We will be talking about anything that interests us. Also, and among that, we're going to be doing reviews on all of the WoW-related panels at BlizzCon, and there were about 5 panels, something like that. Each one, well, I guess I'll just say the Cataclysm preview panel, the class discussion panel, the open Q&A panel, the game systems panel, and the raid and dungeons panel. And actually, up front, me and Brent were talking about this pre-show. The talking about any new battleground and any new raid or dungeon instance really doesn't get us excited, because there's always going to be a new dungeon out there that you haven't played. And to talk about a dungeon that that is going to be out in over a year, things are going to change in that time, and really all we got are the names. Names and locations, and that's about it. Yeah. So we'll probably skip that stuff
and get to the meat.
Get to the good stuff. So anyway, let's do a quick little rundown. What have we been doing lately, Brent?
Let's see. I've been doing my dailies. There's one thing I've been doing lately is I went back and I got the quest in Unguro to basically train a venom scale raptor into a mount. And so every day, basically, I have to go back to Unguro and pull out a pet that is a little baby raptor. I don't know if I even talked about. So
he's your Tamagotchi? That. You got to go and feed him and pet him? And
yes. So every day you feed him, he gives you a baby tooth.
Yeah.
Right? And when you get 20 of these baby tooth, you turn that in with a couple other things, which are negligible besides this. It's like room cloth and some kind of leather, but anyway, you turn those in and you get a venom scale mount. So what's been kind of cool is I'm on my today's my 13th day, so I only have one more week of having to do this, and then I'll get my mount. I noticed yesterday that instead of being the little cutesy dinosaur with the big head, he is now looks like a normal raptor, like if you trained him as a hunter or something.
Yeah.
So he's slowly getting bigger and bigger as I do the quest too. That's cool. That's kind of neat. Been doing dailies, all the other like cooking and fishing dailies as well.
I'm getting really frustrated with the cooking thing. With
just the lack of variety.
Well, I just don't like the fact that all the recipes are level 400 except for the feasts. Therefore 25, and basically if you're getting 1 to 2 medallions a day in general. I mean, I got 3 today off of the mushroom one, or pardon me, off of the I can't remember the name of it now, but the mustard one. But the idea that I'm having to pay for all my recipes, they're almost all level 400. And I'm not getting any juice off of it. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of grumpy about the way they're handling cooking this time, and I really hope they change it for the next expansion.
Yeah, I guess to me right now, that's just kind of a chore. Mm-hmm. Like I do my dailies to get the tokens just because it's easy, a little easy cash, and then I get my spices and my northern spices, and and then I get my cooking badges. I got a few of the recipes, and I still need to cook up all the way to you say it's 4 what for the feast?
It's 425.
425.
Yeah, which I made my first 3 feasts tonight, but I mean, I'm just like
yeah.
So
I to me they're just chores anyway. So
yeah,
I just wish there was more variety. I wish it wasn't the same thing every few days, and a lot of times it's the same thing for 3 days in a row.
Yeah,
that's the same thing with the fishing quest. But what am I going to do? Right?
Yeah,
maybe they'll add in more later.
I did get my culinary of Northrend thing today for cooking. Like, what is it? 25 recipes or something like that. I got an achievement for cooking stuff, and
right, and now there's a new one to cook like 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
great.
Like the next step up. they keep stepping them up. Like I was excited because I got all these recipes, and I was like, oh, there's like 100 more recipes I need to get. So they fooled me too. I've also been trying to get pets and stuff. So there's this one quest that you can do in Dalaran itself. There's 8 books that spawn every 3 hours, and you read them, but sometimes it's a dummy book or a fake book and not the real book that spawns. And then, of course, after you read it, it disappears after 3 minutes. So as soon as someone reads it, you only have 3 minutes. So I've gotten 6 books. I only need 2 more, and then after I get that, I will get. It basically looks like a kind of an elemental pet. So hopefully I'll have that soon. It's like the magic elemental kind of thing.
Have you heard about this mana thing where people will turn you into it? There's a wand, a one-use wand that'll turn you into a sheep, and then you get the wand.
Yes,
I
have it in my bank. Right?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
It only works in Dalaran, though, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of weird things like that, and like you go down into the sewers and you get the stuff that turns you into things, or fish up the other things that turn you into things.
Yeah,
they like turning you into things. This expansion. Yeah. And besides that, I've been playing a bit with my son. I got him on a friend account, so it's definitely saved time. We basically get like 2 levels a day, and we play like an hour or so. You know, do about 3 quests, and by the time you've killed the things with the blue experience and 3 quests, you've gotten 2 levels, and that's been It's been much nicer leveling up. So we're 18, and in 2 levels, we get mounts. Like, how crazy is that?
I know, God.
We were getting my first mount.
Can you afford them?
40. They're like pennies now. They're like completely cheap.
Do you remember? Do you remember saving up your money for that first mount?
Oh, yeah.
It's 100 gold, right?
Yeah.
The first mount. And that the skill was super dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Or 10 gold. It's 10 gold for the skill, 90 for the mount.
Yeah.
And then they weren't even fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to top it off.
Yeah, and then they're 60%, I think.
Yeah.
So that'll be awesome getting those at level 20.
Yeah.
You know, playing this game for so long just makes you feel like an old grumpy man.
You kids, get off those mounts.
And I actually did a test this morning with I've got 3 accounts. I have 2 accounts, and then I got my son an account, this friend account. So I basically wanted to see if I could run my his account and my friend account through dungeons with my main character.
Oh, okay.
And so I logged on with 2 accounts on one machine, and it ran just fine. Like running 2
You can
accounts
dual box. Wow, it's not that hard.
It's pretty easy on one machine, and alt tabbing, it wasn't like, you know, getting out of TF2 or something.
Yeah.
Alt tabbing out of that. It was just like pretty much seamless. Like, I think I could have them up just on different monitors or something. Which I
had a friend who did that.
And then just run around like that. So that was kind of neat. And then Eric and I were discussing for the podcast that this expansion has really like changed my WoW view.
You mean the announcement of it? Or the
things in it. It's like it's like they're doing so much right in my eyes with the expansion compared to the last ones that it's like I don't think I'll ever play another MMO.
Wow.
Like, what's the point?
Wow.
I think War bittered me on. It's like,
that's what I think.
I found an MMO that I really want to play, and then they screwed it up.
Yeah.
And it was like, I've played all these other little ones, Age of Conan, things like that. They screwed them up. They just cannot compete.
And that was my beef too. You know, I was on the first 2 or 3 episodes of Warp, and every time I played Warhammer, it made me just want to play WoW. I don't know why, but it was just kind of something in the back of my head. It was like, God, all this work you're putting into this brand new character on this new game, all that time could have been spent towards your main, towards the guy you've been spending like 3 years playing, or however long it's been out. And, you know, so I kept feeling like I was cheating on WoW or something.
Well, and it's like the last expansion, like I said, it's just like more of the same to me. I mean, WoW makes a good game. It's nice, polished, things work.
And everybody plays it. That's a plus.
Everybody plays
Brett,
it.
WoW's your crazy ex-girlfriend, isn't it? Isn't she?
It is.
Is it because you were against her? So you went and you dated somebody else, and then you missed her, and you came back, and now she sucked you in?
Yeah, and she's tweeting me all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I'm just like, you know, I wasted 9 months of my life with that trashy new girlfriend.
Come on, but the sex was great, wasn't it?
Well, for the first few months, but then
you come crying back. Will you take me back? And of course, WoW will always take you back
and give you badges for it as well. So you can't beat that.
Yeah.
And I don't see what can come out to change my mind. Champions, I'm not even going to try it. I know it's going to be decent. I know it's going to be decent, but it's like 9 months. I'll go back to WoW anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the point? Just stay in WoW. Keep getting my stuff ready for the next expansion that'll come out in 3 years.
Yeah.
See, and I would probably play WoW more full time if the expansions came out faster. But if every year and a half, year and 8 months, it's too slow for me to feel like I'm being rewarded for sticking around.
Yeah. I think that is their biggest issue right now.
Right. So they make a lot of busy work, and if you're any kind of a completist, if you want to do everything, all of a sudden you find yourself running around doing these little busy work quests when really you want to be playing the meat of the game. Right. So I will keep playing other MMOs. I really enjoyed Conan. I really enjoyed Warhammer. I'm enjoying Champions right now. I tried out Aeon. It has some interesting elements to it. But I agree with you that Warcraft is the one that gets it right most of the time.
Yeah, and so I'll let you tell me when the next one comes, or I'll let you know what I'm saying. Like I have a friend, Bill. I'm going to talk about you right now. Bill is a good friend of mine, but he is afraid of change, like big time afraid of change. We played EverQuest for like 4 or 5 years, and then WoW came out, and we all switched. No, that wasn't WoW. That was what was the next one? I guess WoW was the big one, but like City of Heroes came out and things like that. Yeah.
City of Heroes was a lot of fun.
It was. And Bill stayed in EverQuest.
Yeah.
We went and played some other MMO like Vanguard or whatever. Bill stayed in EverQuest. But finally, WoW came out, and he said, okay, I will join y'all in WoW, because he was a big fan of Warcraft and Star Wars. So after like 6 years, he finally changed MMOs. And so I'm taking Bill's attitude towards MMOs now. I'll let someone else tell me when the next one's ready. Right? When everybody leaves WoW, and we can see it in droves when they're down to 2 million users. Then I'll think
when they're down to 2 million.
Right. Isn't that sad? So I'll let them figure that out for me instead of wasting my time on those other games.
Yeah. I think he's a smart man for doing that. Although, would he actually stay in the game when he's all alone? Even though everybody... Really? That's kind of weird.
Well, you could solo. You would get your AAs and stuff, which sounds like we might be getting those in WoW somewhat. But the thing is, and we play these games for our friends, I think, and I think that's what it was. Finally, everybody had left out of EverQuest, and he was stuck with him and like the two losers that were playing on Tandies or something that couldn't move to a new game. So he finally left. What was I getting at? So with WoW, I'm just going to stay here. And
it's very, very comfortable and warm in Azeroth.
Yeah.
I think that's wise. I don't see wanting to move out anytime soon myself. So
you're back. That's right.
Okay. You on. Yeah, I reactivated both my accounts this week. And, Sindok, it's my main orc warrior. I left him at 72. And he's just been hanging out in the borean tundra, all cold and alone for 6 months or so.
The boring tundra?
Yes. And but I picked him back up, and I leveled him up all the way to 73.
Awesome.
You go.
Yeah. I totally tore through the content. That whole zone is done for. I moved on.
Did you get the achievement?
Yes. I got the 150... quests. Is that the one you're talking about? The boring
in the borean tundra or something like that.
That's the one I got. Exactly.
I don't think I have that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that's because you don't like questing.
Well, I think I went through like 74 and or I guess maybe 73 in this kind of weird I really don't want to be here attitude.
Yeah.
Before I left to like.
Well, I got my achievement for Borean Tundra. I got my achievement for Dragonblight. I got my achievement for the Grizzly Hills. We got.
What about Howling Ford?
And I haven't touched that zone. And then we got to Zuldrak, which was my favorite zone so far. I really enjoyed Zuldrak, but the quests, like for us to finish it, evidently there are some quests where you've got to go into Gundrak. You can't get the zone quest without going, because I can't find any more quests to do.
No, you're missing some, because there's only 4 going to Gundrak. No, there's only 3. There's only 3, and they don't make you get like 100%.
I'm just telling you. I sat there and I flew.
You missed one of the islands.
Zuldrak?
Yeah.
Islands?
Not islands, but there's levels.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if you missed a whole level or something.
No, I don't think so. But I even flew back to the old areas and tried clicking on the various people to see if they had some quests I just couldn't see anymore.
And y'all did all the ones that took you up into the temple and rode the giants and Did you do the
freed the kitty and
the daily one? Have you been doing that one?
I have done the daily one.
I wonder if that counts multiple times.
I don't think so. But anyway, we were pretty grumpy about that, and hello, Duncan. And then so now we're over in Sholazar Basin, and we're working our way through that, and it's really funny because that zone starts off like all you can see are like 4 quests in the whole area. And so I'm like, well, this is going to be quick because it's a small zone too.
Of course.
And then as we're doing it, like every time we complete a quest, like all of a sudden there's 2 more we can get, And after a little while, it's like, wow, I thought we were working our way through this, but there's new stuff here where we thought we were done. Sure enough, there's 75 quests in that place to do.
Wow.
So,
well, that's kind of sneaky, That way you're not overwhelmed at first. You're like, oh God, I just picked up 25 quests.
Yeah. So are you using the Jonas add-on yet?
No, I'm using the quest helper.
Okay.
So
if you want the Jonas add-on, let me know.
Okay.
If you just want to, you sound like you just want to speed through it. And if you do, I mean, it's seriously 3 to 4 hours a level.
Really?
Which is,
but quest helper, how could it be any faster than that?
Because quest helper, you have to have the quests.
Right.
This one you don't have the quest. It tells you what quest to go get.
It's more of a walkthrough. I gotcha. Okay.
It's just like the old Jonas guide. It tells you exactly what to do. Like, you'd be like, I want to turn this in. And it's like, no. Don't cheat on me.
Yeah.
Go finish this one first, I promise. Because you'll go finish that one and some guy next door will be, hey, here's some extra experience or something.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Okay, yeah.
It'll bite you. Like, you'll be like, no, there's no way it'll be. I'm going back and turning this one in. Don't listen to the
It's
guy.
been a while since I did a Jonas guide. So, anyway. So I'm playing Sindok, Orc Warrior. I got him 73. So when I'm playing with Sabrina, my fiance, by the way,
my good-looking girlfriend.
Hey. And we are. The only way we can really play together is when we play our Death Knights. We're both 65, and we just went through Nagrand, and we're moving on to Terakar, I guess. Anyway, that's the only way we can play. She has a bunch of low-level alts, and I mean that's the only way we can play. But we're both Alliance, so that means that we both can't play with Brent and Sindok, my main, and the rest of the Horde family, and so. But I do have a priest main. See, I use the word main too much, but basically I have a bunch of mains and then a bunch of alts that I don't care about. But my Alliance main is a 70 priest. I don't have anybody to play him with, so I just leave him alone. And so anyway, so it's Death Knight, Alliance. We're isolated in a world with no one to play with, waiting for the day that I can change factions so that we can both be Horde and we can be together with our Horde family.
That's what I was going to say. If y'all had started your Death Knights on our, as Horde,
they wouldn't let us.
So many people.
They wouldn't let us at the time. Remember at the time you had to have a level. Yeah, remember you had to have a level 60.
Yep. On the server where you made it. Yeah.
But now it's on any server.
Yeah. As long as you have a level 70 character, you can make a Death Knight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, and that screwed us because we've already invested time into these guys. We can't just start over. Yeah, I mean, we can, but
my Death Knight's just been languishing. I've just been letting him sit there, and
I'm loving it.
You need to start one on our server. I mean, I'm serious. It's such our guild is such a good community that.
Well, the other idea is, we made Wendy and I. No, we've got no. You're not talking about Agrimar, right?
No, Dawnbringer.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Yeah. So anyway. That's really it for me. Just leveling up Death Knight, and then when I'm alone, I'm Horde playing with the guild. So, and maybe you guys will run me through Nexus because I have a crap load of quests there.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll run you through Heroic Nexus. Oh wait, you can't do that till you're 80.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we'll run you through Nexus.
Well, really, I don't care. I mean, I can just get to 80 before I do any.
Well, I mean, we'll run you through it too. I'm sure. Way. I say we. I'm still kind of. I came in late, so I just hit 80. Just like what, a month ago.
Oh yeah. What level were you when you stopped playing?
73.
Okay. So you're around where I was.
Yeah, okay. I was 72 or 73. I think 73 though. Like I just dinged and was like, when you're looking at that full bar, it's like that's where you make the choice. Okay, going to Warhammer. You know, that was how it was.
How long did it take you to get from 73 to 80?
I'm telling you, it was like.
Yeah, he sped through. You did it like a week and a half, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a few weeks.
Okay.
I mean, it's just if you spend a day, like a weekend day, you can get a few levels if you're using that Jonas. I mean, I use that Jonas guide nonstop.
Oh yeah.
It was just so simple and stupid. I just wanted to get to 80 because that's all my friends are 80, and like I'm saying, once I hit 80, I was doing 3 dungeons a day and a couple raids. And it was just like, I was the only one that needed equipment, too, because they all had everything. They were just getting badges.
So you get all the drops.
So I'm getting all the drops that, there really weren't that many that were, like, for the Druid, but there was enough. I mean, I got drops, and then plus I got badges. There's so many badges now, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right.
I talked mostly about my stuff. I don't really have anything to cover.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at dinner. I was like, man, you can all that stuff.
Well, I'm about done. I'm about ready to
let's start talking about BlizzCon. Let's talk about BlizzCon.
Okay. BlizzCon. So I do want to say the first thing that was really cool, and maybe we should announce this, is I actually put BlizzCon on a Ustream feed. I mean, I was just talking about it. Yeah, that's it. But it happened to probably catch the audio of we had 1,200 people in the channel at one time, and the channel did great, and people were talking just fine and having a dandy time. So that was pretty sweet.
That was crazy.
I thought we could fake them today and say it was BlizzCon day 3. See if I noticed.
I did get a message from Majachi. It said, you realize your friend Brent is broadcasting BlizzCon over his Ustream channel, right? And it says his name, Brent Copeland, right up at the top of the channel, right?
Can you still log into your characters?
Yeah. They can't prove it's me.
Well, let's give a little preface here. We did not go to BlizzCon 2009.
It felt like it though.
But it felt like it. We went to BlizzCon 2007.
And which means we know everything about the new expansion.
And I think that was good enough. This year, we watched Twitter, we watched the feed, we read blogs. However you wanted it. Like I did searches for BlizzCon 2009 on YouTube and saw them pop up left and right. So I got to see a lot of stuff. I watched a couple live stream shows. Like Oxhorn did a couple little live streams. One at the Hilton Bar, and then one in his hotel room. Watched a couple other Ustream ones live there. Anyway, so I really lived on California time the whole weekend, and pretty much just soaked up BlizzCon news. So anything that you hear are things that we saw, read, whatever. So okay. With that said, let's jump on in.
Jump on in.
We I think the easiest way here to talk about the content that we actually think that it entertains us or that gets us really pumped is to go panel by panel, and we can start off talking about the Cataclysm preview panel. This gives the really good stuff here about of course Cataclysm, the new expansion, and so. What do you? What's
you want to skim the main bullet points here?
Sure.
First off, there's going to be 2 new races: Worgen for the Alliance and Goblins for the Horde. Flying mounts will be available in Azeroth.
Woo.
The basic plot point is going to be Deathwing has made his return, causing a new Sundering. The old Sundering was when what was it that caused the old Sundering?
There was.
It was the.
Did I miss something?
Was it the...
Which panel are you on?
I'm not looking at the panel. I'm looking at the WoW wiki page.
Oh, okay.
Cataclysm preview panel.
Well, it was when the Horde invaded the world, I believe. When Sargeras came through. Anyway, there's a new Sundering because Deathwing was banished to the elemental plane of Earth, and he bursts out of it into Azeroth and comes back, and everything goes bad.
He's pissed.
And it's going to mean a reshaping of the entire world.
Now, when they say that, I'm assuming it's just Kalimdor and
Eastern
Eastern Kingdoms. Do you think they'll do anything with Northrend? I mean, it's still in the same world, right?
I saw a listing of all the zones that will be changed and how much they're going to be changed, but I did not bookmark it.
Are you talking about the map that they released showing the different zones?
No. There was another one where someone said, here are the major changes for each of the zones.
Okay.
But Falcon makes the point that Northrend is pretty far from the Maelstrom, but it's important to point out, Falcon, that Deathwing does not spring from the Maelstrom. He springs from the area in between Stormwind and the zone to the northeast of Stormwind.
That's all Alliance stuff. Y'all should know that. Y'all are Alliance guys.
Yeah, and he springs up. He comes out in between Stormwind and Dunmoreau. So, anyway.
Good. Mess up them Alliance towns big time,
The other key points, there's going to be a new secondary profession called archaeology. And basically when he comes out, all of a sudden all these old ruins are going to be, burst to the surface and things are going to be on. There's going to be new race class combinations. Most of the races are getting new stuff. So you can be a Tauren Paladin or a Gnome Priest.
Well, let's
that's the holy cow.
Yeah, let's go over this while we're here. Let's go over each thing. We can just go down the list. Goblins are getting Death Knights, of course, and so are the Worgen.
Yep.
So everybody be that. Yeah. Trolls are getting to be druids. Undead and goblins are going to be hunters. How do y'all feel about the undeads becoming hunters? That one's probably the one that struck me the most weird out of all of them.
Why?
Really?
An undead hunter? I just don't get it. It's like, why, dude? you're to me it seems like a hunter needs kind of apathy towards beasts, right? To be able to talk to a beast and, oh, hey, friendly. To me, if I'm a wolf and a undead comes up to me and like wants to be my friend, I'm gonna chew his arm off. Like, I'm gonna take your bone and try to find out who I'm supposed to give it to, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I don't know.
Dwarf shaman is much weirder to me.
You drink a lot, you see stuff, right?
I don't know. That's much weirder to me than undead hunter. A dwarf shaman.
So, mage goblin. I don't know. I mean, so like to me, goblin, you just need to sell stuff. I don't know. They just trained me over the past few years. I don't really get to see goblins anymore.
Tauren priest is sounds funny, and paladin.
The Tauren get paladin and priest, so they get some religion.
Yeah, Tauren paladin is really weird. Now, Sealand's pointing out that Night Elf mages is a really weird class, since the Night Elf gave up. I mean, they were the elves that gave up magic following the original Sundering.
And this is what this is in my mind, is that we are going to get lore that makes this make sense.
Well, obviously,
like, none of this makes sense, but the ones that really don't will get something.
Well, obviously, the Night Elves haven't really interacted with humans up until Warcraft 3. They've been sitting on the other side of the world doing a bunch of nothing. So this is basically just a bunch of interbreeding of beliefs, I believe.
So maybe undead has become more human, and thus able to kind of tame pets and stuff.
Yeah.
So we also have, I guess, goblins, of course, get rogue, shaman, warlock, and warrior as well. And, of course, one that I am happy for, I wish they'd done it at the expansion release, was Blood Elf Warrior.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I never understood why Blood Elves couldn't be warriors.
Well, at the time, they were limiting to a certain amount of classes.
Right.
And now I guess they've taken that away. So on the other side of the world, we've got Alliance Worgen. We'll just name all theirs. Our Death Knight, Druid. We're going to see a lot of furries.
Yeah.
As you said earlier.
Yeah.
Hunter, Mage, Priest, Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior. And then besides that, you got gnomes get to be the priests.
Nothing new for Draenei. Womp womp.
You're right. There is absolutely nothing new for them.
Because they got like almost everything. Well, maybe not. Well, they're only missing 4 different... 3. They're only missing 3 different classes.
See, I could have almost seen them as druids. Like, almost instead of the Worgen.
Nah.
But then you got Night Elf as the mage.
That's cool. I'm down with that.
Dwarf is a mage.
That's dumb.
That seems kind of odd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Dwarf mage doesn't bother me as much as dwarf shaman. For some reason, that one just really sticks out.
I'm a dwarf druid.
Like the totems will be as big as he is.
Yeah.
And then humans get hunter, which that's odd that they never had hunter before.
Oh, human hunter? Oh, yeah, that totally fits. I mean, that's natural.
I think humans should actually get them all. I mean, they're kind of like, in most games, that's kind of how it works, right? Yeah. Human can be anything.
Yeah.
But, they do things weird. Okay, that's the Matrix.
Did you guys know how the Worgen works, by the way? In the Q&A, they said that the wolf part of the Worgen is just cosmetic. You turn into a wolf in combat. But when you're out of combat, you have the choice between just being a human or a wolf man.
Really?
That's what they said.
Interesting.
Yeah. They didn't talk about stat changes, or if they did, I totally missed that part. But well, actually, I guess I didn't. They straight up said it's cosmetic only.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Anyway, just thought that was cool.
One interesting point, Seelan points out that they were asked in the panel, why are goblins and worgens DKs? Why are they death knights? Doesn't that contradict the lore? Because they weren't part of the alliance and the horde when the undead scourge started.
Right.
And they said, we didn't really care about the lore for that.
Which I think it comes down to that in a lot of things for them is, we'll try to stick to the lore. But
I think they could have left that out. I think they could have not made Goblin and Worgen Death Knights and been fine.
I agree, just because you have all these choices to pick from. I guess to me, all that says is now I can start a 55 level Goblin or I can start a 55 level Worgen.
And I don't think that's necessarily important. I don't think that was a good choice.
Yeah.
That's true. Liquid Hool points out that the Worgens start at level 6. I don't know if what happens with the goblins if that's the case.
Let's see. Are we just kind of glossing through some bullets now from the Cataclysm preview panel? What do you guys think about this Path of the Titans thing? It's a new path progression, a new way to use talent points and things like that. New talent tree system.
This sounds like alternate advancement from EverQuest. AA points, and basically what you did was you could level up, or you could level up your AAs, but like once you got to max level, all you could do was level up your AAs, and you would put them into these abilities where it's like, okay, you can swim faster, or you've got more intelligence. It's kind of these general things, but then you also had class ones where it was like, now you do more damage with frost, right? It was basically like talent points, but they just kept going. I mean, because there's like, thousands of AAs you could get, so you never ran out of like something to level up. Now I don't know if they're going to go that deep with it, but it'd be kind of cool.
Well, they say talent trees will not be extended. You will just get 5 more talent points.
Well, I think that the extending the talent trees every single time that there's a new level cap sort of creates a bunch of weirdness anyway. I would like to see what I really would like to see is a way to do some dual tree tricks. Like basically you can, move some points up the tree so that you don't have to get that lower stuff, so that you can dual spec, not dual spec, but multi-spec a little more respectably.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like a lot of things they're going to do, because they're reworking the whole talent system, is get rid of kind of talents that just kind of up like your crits and skill points and give you abilities. I guess they were trying to, from what I hear, is they're trying to get rid of passive abilities. Basically, they want to give you actual skills to use and do things with.
Right. Okay.
Which I don't agree. I usually tend to hit passive things over non-passive things. I don't know. I'm lazy.
Let's see.
So one of the biggest things is 5 levels instead of 10. A lot of people say they want to try to extend life before level 100. I don't know why. Really, 100 is a big deal. But do you think those 5 levels will take as long as it did the 10 levels, or do you think it'll take 5 levels? I think it'll take as long. I'm hoping it will take half the time. I'm hoping they realize that there's the end game there. If they fix the end game to like where you're still wanting to do quest and stuff at 85, that kind of 80 to 85 is pointless, right?
Yeah.
Because the only reason they really have all those levels is to get you to go out and do and experience the content, do the quest. Well, if all the stuff is fun enough that I'll do it no matter what level I'm at, it really doesn't matter. You know, if you give me 5 or 10 levels, just give me 5. Don't give me skills that all they do is make this do 100 more damage. You know, give me only skills that actually do something different.
Yeah.
You know, turn me into a horse as a druid. That's what I want. I want to be able to run around as a horse.
My whole thing is I don't mind them speeding it up a little bit as long as they don't abandon. I actually like questing and I like leveling, and as long as they make it so I can still I don't have to level, but I want to experience new content and do quests and get rewards for doing those quests, and not feel as if once I hit the cap my game is, you know, slogged down and dead.
But if you like doing quests, does it matter if you're 80 and still doing those quests?
No, not at all.
What about for like people like me who that is an issue? Like, I just want to get to 80 to play with my friends.
Yeah.
So what about the quests? The only reason I really do them is for money, for gear, and to get where I need to get to 80.
Yeah. That is one nice thing, by the way, about leveling slow. Like, I'm probably going to hit 80 in Sholazar Basin, and that means I'll have, you know, 2.5 more zones, and every quest will just get me extra money.
Yeah. But it's like I have some of Storm Peak and all of Ice Crown to do for the most part. I don't know if I'll do them. I mean, I can do my dailies and fill my time up and get just as much gold, right? Because they're all worth 13 gold anyway.
See, I just I like feeling like I'm part of the story, part of the investigation, part of the, you know, that's why I play. I mean, I don't want to just go and do the busy work every day. So
yeah, I just want gear, fat loots, baby. I want them Professor Plums. So you're happy then? 5 levels, depending on how they do it.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm happy with it. I'm good with it. New guild advancement system. Who's excited about that?
That's great.
Now, we've experienced it,
like Warhammer,
firsthand.
Yeah, but the thing about this is the deal. This is what happened in Warhammer, is that you ended up with 2 situations. Number one, they penalized you for having people in your guild that were inactive. They wanted to level your gear based on level your guild based on the activity of the players in your guild. But if you had more people in the guild, you had to do more stuff to level up. So if you had inactive people with multiple, so you had guilds that were like kicking people out when they logged off. And basically what you would do is when you logged on, you would message people, they would re-invite you to the guild, you would play with the guild. And to me, that just defeats the purpose of the guild system, period.
Yeah.
No, they are changing that. I mean, they're doing it a little differently. Everybody in the guild will contribute, but it will only take the top 20 contributors, and those will be the points that go towards the guild for that day. So you won't be kicking people out, right? If you got dead weight there, it doesn't matter,
right?
To me, I think 20 maybe. I don't know. I guess there are a lot of big guilds out there. Ours, we usually have about 15 or so people on a day. So I don't know. We get 5 more people in there, and we hit that 20, and we're going up just as fast as the guild with 5,000 people, right?
Right.
If they're all doing stuff. So that might be cool. Talent trees. This is kind of wonky. They actually have a talent tree for the guild where you'll get to choose your talents every level. There's 20 levels, and at the top level there's mass res. There's also mass summon to the raid.
That is awesome.
But you got to pick which path you want to get to. You won't be able to get both of those.
Yeah,
you only get one of those, and plus, stuff up in between there. I think that's.
I wonder if you can do like. I wonder if you could do like have like some kind of scripting system to where you get like you have everybody use the mass summon to get everybody to the raid, and then everybody switches guild to the guild that has mass res, and then you play the raid. So I
bet you'll see stuff like that. Yeah. Some of the bigger guilds would probably behoove people. If I had had 40 active people a day in a guild. Okay, guys, let's split up to 20 and 20 until we get 2 guilds, maxed up. And then you just switch between guilds depending on if you're leveling up or PvPing or raiding, depending on the skills.
Yeah. Well, if I had to choose between the two, one is just strictly being lazy, and the other is doing the impossible. So why not do something that you can't already do in the game, like res everybody all at once?
Well, but I assume mass res isn't like in game, like it's not like during a fight. I'm assuming everybody has to be out of combat, and you mass res everybody up instead of having to run up there and res. So it's a set time saving thing.
Yeah, right. But basically, it'll be like we've wiped on Ragnaros, which by the way he's coming back, and everybody that was where they're laying on the ground, comes up, I guess probably on the person who does the mass res.
Yeah, I would assume, because if otherwise it's, we wipe again. Bad place to be. Yeah. And
it's got a 30-minute cooldown, according to Joe Lynn.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know what the cooldowns were, but that'll be very interesting to see once they start releasing all the different talents for the guild.
I'll be interested to see, because like my main guild that I'm in, a lot of the people have gone on to the big raiding guilds, but mine was kind of like the training wheel. Like it was active for a long time. I mean, they did raiding, but it was the more casual end of things. And I'll be interested to see if, when the expansion comes back, if some of the people that have like moved on will want to come back and help level up the old training guild.
Yeah, no, keep your hopes there, brother. I think they're in their new guilds, and they're going to be getting their new guilds up.
I don't know. Just an idea.
I'll tell you what you should do, though, is you move over to Dawnbring and join our guild and be one of those new 5 that we get our 20. Pump that baby up. I'm telling you, mass res you.
Yeah.
Mass res you in 10 days. We're gonna farm that stuff. I almost used some curse words there. I had to stop myself. Yeah.
So let's see. Let's get down to some more here. We have... Deathwing.
Now it says here, by the way, phasing will now add and remove terrain based on your progress. Coasts will be progressively more flooded depending on how far in the storyline you are. So in answer to my question earlier, yes, the features will change, but I guess it starts with a base for Cataclysm, and then as you quest, it gets to different levels.
I'm just going to get the expansion and never do any of the quests and level up in PvP and just stay in is in the very beginning world and never get my coastline. And y'all all be standing up there and be like, why is he walking on water? And y'all be like, he's God. It's crazy. How
did you guys catch the developers said that there's going to be a way for you to know what phase your friends are in?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
So they already
Make
know.
Make fun of them. That's why they're doing it.
I mean, it's already caused some confusion. There's some quests that do the phasing thing in Burning Crusade. I guess there's some in Wrath. I'm just not there yet. Anyway, it is kind of confusing. It's like, hey, dude, where'd you go? Where are you? Oh, I used the item which makes me drunk or high or whatever, and now I'm seeing spacey things. And by the way, just right click this item. Oh, okay.
And in Wrath, you'll get whole villages that are all suddenly there, and you're like, holy crap, what if I had never done this quest line? I wouldn't have this flight path.
Yeah, and now other games are already kind of doing phasing or channels, like Runes of Magic. You can be on channel 1 or channel 2. Age of Conan did the same thing.
Is it just different zones? Basically.
Yeah, different copies of the same
It's
zone.
a different instance, basically.
Yeah, sometimes they've got to do it. Like I know with Champions, they're limiting each instance to 200 people.
Yeah, City of Heroes did that. I mean, for the longest time, you would zone in and there'd be 5 different instances because they only had a max amount of people. But it wasn't the phasing that WoW does, where each of those instances were different. Every single of those instances were exactly the same, except for the NPCs and the PCs.
Right. The PCs.
Right? And they WoW just basically said, hey, well, if we can do it like that, why don't we just, mark what phase they're in and actually change the terrain in that phase? So you're basically in that copy. But, they even do it without zoning. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually very, very meta if you think about it, because every single place that you go to is a different instance. If you think higher scope, like all of the servers, all the realms, those are different instances of the game. Then inside the game, you have different instances of that, and then you have phases of the different instances. So
You're hurting my brain, dude.
Getting down, and anyway.
He's here to blow our minds.
Okay, so we're going all the way down to Old World.
That sounds great. Deathwing, he's the big bad guy. You got Worgans and goblins. Let's go all the way down.
Now,
to
do we
Old World.
want to tell about? I'm sorry, I should.
Well, I was just that's
right.
totally fine because these are. I'm not really excited about the new races because they're just, I don't know, they're probably going to change so much anyway. So might as well get to the game changing stuff. Having a werewolf in the game is not going to be game changing. It's just a werewolf. Sure, he's got new racials, but
He's got flair.
yeah.
He's
I mean, it's
skinny.
great and all, but I want to get to the exciting stuff, like Old World, right?
Yep.
That's where you pop the CD in, you wait 6 days for the thing to install. Finally, you're playing a game and it's brand new from the very beginning, and you get to play with all your buddies. So let's see what great things. 7 new zones.
Yep,
For,
there's some neat
for the
ones.
expansion?
There's some neat ones too. Some ones I was really curious about. They're going to have Gilneas, which is that zone there next to the Red Main. Is it the Red Main Wall? Is that it? The one over there by in Silver Pine Forest.
Yeah,
That's going to be the starting zone.
the gates that's been closed forever.
Yeah.
And there's quests to go down there. Isn't there a blind guy in one of the quests or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so many years ago, but, and it's like, hey, when are they going to open this thing? Any day now. There'll be a patch, and that
Yep.
sucker will open. Well, finally it's opening.
three
Well,
expansions.
Yeah.
If I remember my lore correctly, and I might not be remembering this properly, Gilneas sealed itself off because it did not want to join with Lordaeron. It did not want to get under the direct stuff under Lordaeron, and so they kind of sealed themselves off.
Well, it's kind of like the Vatican. They wanted to be their own little society with their own currency and everything within a bigger country.
Yeah. So, let's see. What are some of the?
I just threw some religion in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was getting stuck on the goblin racials.
They're actually bringing in Mount Hyjal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Now, okay, I've seen Mount Hyjal before, so it's going to be very.
Did you sneak over there?
I saw it too.
Yeah.
How did we see it, Brad?
We saw it on a bad server we shouldn't have been on. But it was very small, so I'm sure that's going to change and be much larger.
Yeah,
so we should get an achievement for that, right?
What?
That we
For
saw
getting
the
on an
original
underground?
one?
Yeah, we should.
Sorry. Go on. Hi, Joel. Hi, Joel.
And then they're going to do Deep Home. Now, what Deep Home is it's a pocket in the plane of elemental earth that you're going to be able to get to from the breach that Deathwing made when he came back into the world.
So he busted a big hole in the ground, created a big shockwave, big earthquake, big scar, right down the center of the continent.
A cataclysm.
Yes, if you will.
So then, additionally, there's going to be Uldum, which is going to be in between Tanaris and Ungoro Crater.
And that's all the oldest stuff. I mean, I like that stuff. It's like, it feels Egyptian. It's all sand and like rock creatures and stuff.
But the basic idea is this is a Titan area that has been sealed off because there's some machines in there that have been sealing it off. Well, the Cataclysm damaged the machines, and all of a sudden people can see it. And basically, you're going to be able to get there.
Once you see it, you say, I bet there's fat loots down there, brother.
Yeah.
Let's go get some.
That's exactly what you said.
And then we group up and we go do that.
Yeah.
10 man or 25.
Yeah.
Either one. Or maybe even 5 man.
Next is the Lost Isles. Now, this is the Goblin starting area. There was originally a Goblin Island in some of the old specs when they were putting together the map for the world, and it was beneath the Maelstrom. But I think they're saying that Goblin Kingdom was destroyed during the Cataclysm, and the Lost Isles are north of the Maelstrom, and that's where a few particular groups of goblins lived, and they're doing it just like what are they called? The families of
Tribes.
Basically clans. Yes.
Okay.
And the clan of goblins that are going to be allied with the Horde are not the same as the Venture Company people.
They're like the Karajas or something like that.
Okay.
I forget the name of them. It probably says right there. But anyway.
And then the last additional new zone is there's two more. Sunken City of Vashjir. This is the underwater zone. Basically, the Maelstrom punched a hole. Is a hole punch to the elemental plane of water, and that's where the Sunken City of Vashjir will be. And then lastly is the Twilight Highlands, and I don't know anything about that one.
The Twilight Highlands is going to be where Grim Batal is.
Okay.
Deathwing actually broke open Grim Batal as he emerged from the ground. And this is the new Twilight's Hammer base in Azeroth. And both the Horde Alliance will have a new port town with boats there. I believe the red Dragonflight is still here, but is pushed back to the west of the zone near the wetlands. Does that sound like I'm reading it at all?
Yes. Actually, I thought you were talking about it at the beginning, and then you kind of,
whatever. I tried. So yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
So it's the under the old world section, the Wailing Caverns is now a lush and verdant area.
That's cool.
So I assume that means that the goodness in the Wailing Caverns bled up to the Barrens.
No, there's a guy there. It's I forget the guy or girl who's trying to regrow the growth around there, and apparently he's done it.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
So I assume that means that a big hunk of the Barrens is going to turn into a jungle.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be segregated too, like North Barrens, South Barrens.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. There's going to be basically a big crevice between the two, and one's going to be for higher levels, and I think one's going to be for like old leveling up. So.
And that's also will do something better for Barrens chat. Just saying.
Possibly.
I never had to experience that. Desolus will now have a lot more water.
It needed it.
Since it had a bunch of pools of stagnant water, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
The Horde finally conquered South Shore.
Yay!
Woo, South Shore is gone, baby!
Woo!
We're not going to be able to throw eggs at it, though.
And stink bombs and stuff like that. Yeah, they'll have to think of something new.
Well, yeah, that's going to be kind of weird. They're going to have to rethink all those things.
Yeah.
Wow. You better do them in the next 3 years.
My brain's going, South Shore. Okay, yeah.
Down there where y'all came up and tried to mess with Terran Mill, and it sounds like Terran Mill kicked some tail.
Yeah, I thought back in the days when there was a lot of open world PvP. Do you remember standing there on that hill and all the Horde would be hanging out in Terran Mill and all the Order would be up on that road, and then you'd come down and there would be like, you'd have the little people who'd be like, and try to do like a DOT and then back up,
Yeah. And now in 2007 at BlizzCon, the devs said that, that's kind of what spawned the whole PvP movement when they started doing the whole world PvP thing that really failed and never really worked. But they saw that on different realms, people were just creating this whole PvP game. Which it wasn't really much of a game, more of a, just let's get together and attack. And then, if you feel like a coward, run back to your town, and you got your guards to run after and back you up. But still, that's, the players right there fueled PvP. So but it was part of history.
And it was more like Warhammer PvP than any other, like anything else, because it was two big lines, and then people would get daring and kind of peek out, and then finally something would trip and everybody would go blah!
Exactly.
Then you'd be left with that one guy left who then died from a DOT.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, Oh, okay. Anyway.
One thing I think is interesting here, it says apparently Orgrimmar will be rebuilt and reinforced with steel. It now looks a lot like Garrosh strongholds. And this was some of the information that was leaked out before the announcement, was that basically Thrall was going to go off and basically kind of be leading some movement or whatever, trying to get people working together, and leaving his place, Garrosh, to kind of take over. And Garrosh is like, war, let's go back to war. And he's going to go kill everybody. And apparently they get Karn Bloodhoof, who is the leader for Tauren, executed.
Well, he's already been, if I'm not mistaken, he's already out of the game. Like, his character is not anywhere in the game right now, from what I understand. Now, that might just be a rumor I might have heard. But the idea is Garrosh had him killed. And, so Garrosh is declaring war on the Alliance.
And that's cool, because Karen was a wuss, apparently. We need a Tauren who knows how to pull up a hoof and put it in the face of an Alliance guy.
Yep.
So I guess the Horde really are bad guys now.
Always. Come on.
No, come on. Thrall was a good guy.
No, he wasn't. He was just misunderstood. We'll get him executed soon. Don't worry.
Undercity's going to be redesigned to be flyable. Stone Talon has been cleaned by the goblins.
Yeah. And it was fun when they went through this at BlizzCon because, you know, they were like, okay, Undercity has been redesigned to be flyable, and then they show the old one, and then this all the new one, and everybody starts clapping. They're like, woo, and just showing like the effects of what happens. I don't know. It's just really like I kind of teared up when I saw it. I'm like, all the times that I've been to all these different places, it'll never be the same again.
Yeah.
Even though I'm freaking tired of seeing it.
Well, we can just go to one of the old illegal servers.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. But I think change is a great thing. It is just kind of like, the memories of those places will just die in your head with you. They won't ever be, I guess sooner or later the entire game will die. But, anyway, it's just really cool.
It is kind of exciting, though, because for so long, the game has felt as if they would build something and then leave it and move on to something else. And the old world was kind of this static, sort of dead thing that you had to go through in order to level up. But it wasn't vibrant. It wasn't alive, right. And this is really going to give some new life to the old stuff.
And just things kind of felt stupid. You come back here and now all of a sudden you can't fly.
Yeah.
It's like, I can still take this mount that flies me from here to here. So why can't I just fly them around?
Yeah.
And like all those things, it was like, oh, the dwarves are still excavating that land. Like for the last 4 years, they've been excavating this land.
5 years, buddy, 5 years.
Or 5 years, or or someone is still like building something. Like, didn't you finish it? Like, can't you just like finish it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, how many plane striders have you killed in this area? I mean, you asked me to kill 7, and I know you asked my friend to kill 7, and you've been doing that for 5 years.
Yeah.
How are there plane striders still in the Barrens?
Hogger is still running rampant. I mean, come on.
My son just trained Echenia. I don't know how to say it. The ghost lion that you summon with the horn in Barrens. Man, you guys are alliance fools. That. Come on.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, so he's still there. And
that was in Mulgore, right?
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
Dude,
the little spirit wolf?
Alliance guy. What's wrong with you?
Oh, this is
this isn't Barrens. No, this is a Horde thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is in the Barrens. North Barrens.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. It was so long ago.
Wow. I'm hurting here. Okay, so that's a lot of new stuff.
Yeah. The from down here in the Dungeons and Raid sections, I don't really see much need to go into the names of the individual instances. But one other thing that is interesting to point out, we've talked about the elemental plane of air, of earth and of water having entrances. Now the elemental plane of air will also have a dungeon and a raid instance in it. So there's basically 3 holes into 3 of the elemental planes now that you'll be able to go to.
I do just mention one more thing on the dungeons. I do like the fact that they're making Dead Mines and Shadowfang Keeps 85 heroic.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah,
because those are a lot of the ones I think a lot of people don't actually get a chance to, especially over the last probably 2
And
years.
Dead Mines is really a great instance experience. I think it's far cooler than most people realize. Until
the pirate ship is so cool in there.
And dude, and it's basically an Alliance instance.
Yeah.
I mean, we ran people over every once in a while. I've been in there, like, we farmed it just to get items for our rogues,
for the twinks.
Yeah. That's the only time I've ever been in there.
Exactly.
But
it was fun though because you got to see it for the first time.
Yeah, so it'll be great to go back there at 85, and I think that's why they're picking those, because I think Shadowfang was the opposite for Alliance, right? Not many Alliance did Shadowfang because it was so far away from
we went over and tried to do it. I think I've told you how I leveled up before. We had a dwarf group. We had 5 dwarves, and we went around and we experienced all the content together for the first game, all the way to level 60, and we went over and tried to do level appropriate Shadowfang Keep with the teleporting dude that would go around, and the dwarf classes were not armed with the ability to handle that thing at level appropriate. So
Ergol was a biatch.
Yeah, I think you really needed a mage and some other stuff. But anyway, we ended up we did it, but we left. You know, we ran in and we're like, "Yo, let's do this dungeon here at the bad place."
Yeah, and that was like one of the first fights that there was actually you needed to come up with some kind of tactic, right? It wasn't the first. You know, everything else was like tank and spank, and now you got this guy that starts teleporting around. How do we do? How do we fight this? What's going on? Well, let's try all DPS. So you sit here, so if he teleports there, and blah blah blah, and so it was great. You know, now everybody's gonna be able to experience.
I got really tired of it though later on, because remember we farmed it for the Shadowfang dagger, or was it Shadowfang dagger or something like that, for our twinks, of course. It was like the rapier thing you got for the rogues that but yeah, maybe Shadowfang rare
sword or
drop.
dagger, Simistar or something like that.
Yeah, it was so rare.
This is how we would farm this thing. I would take my druid and like run all the way up to the top and pull everybody all the way down to the front, and then we'd just kill everything.
And it would be a huge mass, just
looting for like 10 minutes.
Oh man, take forever to loot.
Oh man. Anyway,
old times. Okay. Anyway, new stuff. What's going on?
So that's kind of the Cataclysm preview.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's go to the next one. Let's go on to the class discussions panel, and I believe this happened on day 2. I think.
No. This was after.
Oh, this was day 1. This is after the opening ceremonies.
This was right after the Cataclysm thing.
Right.
The Cataclysm announcement. They did the classes.
Let's see. Okay, so we have some big changes to the classes, of course. Let's see here. What is notable without getting into everything?
The main things are hunters are no longer going to use mana.
Right, no more mana. Which I thought was weird in the first place.
I think probably one of the largest things happening is how they're doing skills and abilities now. I mean, just the fact that no longer you're going to get these abilities that just up you by 200 points. You got rank 1, rank 2, and rank 3. You get rank 1, and then it ranks up as you level.
Yes,
forever. So that's awesome. And then go beyond that. I think that's why they're changing the talents to kind of get away from those kind of up passive percentages and like that. So I think that's amazing.
Now, I don't remember. I think this is with this expansion, but they're talking about removing spell damage and like bonus damage. Did you? Well,
okay. Actually, let's talk about the stats real quick.
Okay.
The simplified stats. They kind of went crazy, right? With the stats, they've gotten really complicated with the armor penetration and all this new stuff. They're always giving new stats. Now they took some away. Remember, they had the spell power instead of the bonus healing and bonus to attack. Now spell power is going to be gone. They're taking that away.
Yes, all of your bonus spell power will come from your intelligence.
Right.
So if you get an intelligence item, it has spell power inherent to it.
Right.
And certain good. And attack power will come from either strength or dex, depending on your class. So rogues, their attack power will come from dex items, and warriors will get it from strength items, which means you don't have to worry about hunters and warriors fighting over a piece of gear, you know, or something like that.
But think of all of the abilities, like one of the racial abilities of the orc to raise your attack power. I mean, there's so many spells and so many abilities that are just going to have to be reworked because, you know, those are centric to attack power. You know?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at this as probably a 2.5-3 year expansion.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't going to be...
This is a load of work.
I mean, we've already been almost a year, and I'm assuming next BlizzCon they'll be announcing a lot more details.
No, I think so. I think this is going to come out in a reasonable amount of time.
If not this November, next November, possibly.
No, I think we're looking at
after that.
I think we're looking at spring or summer of 2010.
I think you're smoking crack.
Well, they already said 2010.
No, they're liars.
They actually said 2010 is the date. Now, they can change it, of course.
Did they really say 2010?
They did.
Because I've never heard
They said late, according to Sealand, they said late spring or summer. Yep.
Of 2010.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. No, won't happen.
That's what Blizzard
November,
said.
earliest November 2010.
But the key here now, the one thing that this will allow me to do is I get really confused at certain times when I'm faced with an item that has a better stat bonus versus an item that has a lower stat bonus but a plus damage kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to end that juggling, but also that means that itemization is going to be far less dramatic. Like you're never going to really shop to try to min-max certain things. It's going to be, I'm a mage, I want int, you know?
Right.
They're going to remove mana per 5. It's going to be tied up into spirit.
Yep, that's a good thing. Armor penetration's gone. They said that it was just too confusing.
Well, and don't you think it's like getting ridiculous on when you like look at an armor piece and it goes off your screen? You're like, well, what does it say down there?
Yeah, and that's what was crappy about other MMOs. You would always run into that. And Age of Conan tried to do that crap too. It was like all of this crap. It was just
they were horrible about it because theirs were
bad.
like 0.1% to kick him in the nuts, and you're like, what does that actually do? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like per fight, I have to figure out what gear I'm going to wear. It's like, oh, here's some wolves. I'm going to have to re-gear everything now.
I missed the panel about the skills, so I'm excited hearing all this.
All this new stuff.
What the hardcore people would say, dumbing down of WoW.
Yeah, totally. Defense is gone. Tanks are now defense capped with talents.
Well, what are we going to sit on? Without defense over there.
That was bad. That's good. Let's see. The haste. Haste is now increases your rate of resource generation, like energy, rage, runes. So that's cool.
I'm sorry, not helping you out here, but I have no clue where you're getting all this information.
Okay. Block value is gone, but blocks now mitigate a percentage of damage. There was so many types of different defense and block values and parries and all this stuff, and it's going to be nice and simple. Now,
the one thing I wish they would change is I wish they would make stamina equal across different armor types.
I've got some good news for you, Brent.
What?
They are going to make stamina more equal across different armor types.
Oh, holy crap. That's awesome.
No more plate HP envy.
Sweet.
Now, I'm 50-50 on that. I do think that, the softy classes, deserve to have fewer hit points, but at the same time, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a great change. I love it. Stop inventing new stats. It's lame and boring.
Yeah. Make me look cooler, right? Like, I want my guy to just look like a badass. I don't care what the stats are on there.
Well, I'm not kidding. I'm leveling up and I have a bunch of Karazhan gear.
Yeah.
So I'm doing okay. I got lots of socketed stuff. I still got my Collar of the Aldor. Yeah,
you're probably just now finding upgrades. Right?
Exactly. I am just now getting to a point where I'm facing upgrades, and I have a lot of items that I'm sitting on because I'm like, well, that might be a little better than what I have if I could tie it in with another item. You know what I'm saying? Like if I could find another high spell damage item, I could wear it in combination, and that would make up for the loss of int. But each individually is not enough,
right?
So I have a whole bag in my bank right now of very questionable upgrades. So I think this will help me in that method, but I think it will also minimize the amount of cool special. I mean, I remember I used to have an all healing set that I wore, and then there was my int set.
Did you have a spirit set? Because I did.
No, I never worried about spirit.
Now my warrior had a spirit set too.
Now, what do y'all think? Do y'all think they'll ever come to a system where you basically find a certain look of an armor and then you can apply a skill set to it or ability? Like basically you kind of have, I really want this helm, but it's like as soon as you get an upgrade, you're like, I gotta get rid of that helm and look at this stupid helm. But what if they had it where it's like you could replace the stats on this item with this new item stats? Like maybe it's some enchanting skill or something where it's just like replace the stats so you can keep your look.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever add something like that, or would that be something people would want? I know I would love it.
Yeah.
So I'd love to be able to get like my look and then apply my abilities and skills.
They're talking about something. It's called reforging, and I don't have any of this stuff down here. And I think it's coming. Stats of Duratan is
so that's
saying
archaeology.
It's coming from archaeology. Okay, but it allows you to change certain things, but I'm not really sure. What all it really allows you to do. They're saying can replace a stat with another stat with limitations.
Yeah, see, and I'm just like. It's a little different than what I want, because that's almost like still trying to min-max your stuff.
Well, what it might be doing
I would still want
is eating, you take your item and you kill another item to take a stat from it and put it on and replace a stat on your thing with it. So if you found enough good things, you could just keep your same helm, but take the individual stats from it that you wanted.
Right.
So I think that could work.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how they implement it.
Yes,
Okay.
we will.
Okay.
Let's see what else.
Multi-passenger flying mounts.
That's cool. Little taxi.
I'm looking forward to making my motorcycle with sidecar. I'm not close. I'm up to I think I'm at 423 on my engineering.
Yeah.
So
I pushed it. I went broke again. I'm back up to like 600 gold, but I'm at I made my epic engineering goggles. But I didn't have enough money to buy the pattern. It's like 400 or 500 gold for the pattern for the Mechano Hog thing.
Really?
And then it's like another, I don't know, like 18.
Oh, my epic flying machine was a good bit of money.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting on about 3,000 gold right now on my character, and I'm going to be making probably at least another 3,000 while I level up in these zones once I hit 80.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, here's a cool change to Warlock. The soul shards won't be in your bags anymore. It'll be part of the UI. I always thought it should have been.
Just like a number, basically.
Yeah, it's like just like the currency.
Or maybe they'll just be a bar. Like you'll have your mana bar and then your shard bar.
I think they showed
Shard bar.
I don't remember. I think they showed a something in progress. I don't remember, but they were saying that the goal was to make it more fun and not a hassle. I always thought that it was part of some balancing issue. Like it was overpowered to have abilities that use these soul shards, so they took away some of the usefulness of your inventory to balance it out. Because they could have just made the soul shards stackable, but they didn't. It's just one per slot. So that's how I thought they were balancing. Same thing with the quiver, with the hunter. But maybe now they're just like, well, that was dumb. I wonder why we did that. I don't know.
Well, I think you reach a certain point in the game when collecting stuff and having bag space is less about your class and more about just wanting. I mean, I get frustrated. I'm messing with my bags all the time. I need to go get some space. Got to go back to base and sell.
Me too. I hate it.
And if I were a hunter or a warlock, I'd be grumpy. I'd just be grumpy all the time. Yeah.
I mean, I played one until level 28, I think, and I stopped playing it. That was one of the things I didn't like about it.
My hunter is, well, he's only 65 right now, but he's an engineer too. And I'll tell you, as a trade skill, an engineer just has so much more crap that he carries along with him than anyone else, because he just makes all these toys that they don't fit in slots. They don't do anything. They just sit in your bag and take up space, and then you use them like once a week or something.
Well, I made myself my engineer. I made my gnomish Swiss Army watch. Mm-hmm. Or Swiss Army knife. Have you seen about this? It's got an arc welder, a micro adjuster, a mining pick, a blacksmith hammer, and a skinning knife, all built in. Plus, it's goblin jumper cables.
Wow!
And the tinder sticks.
Yeah,
it's got wood now.
Yeah, it's got flint and tinder in it.
Have a fire.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And they also have I made the mailbox, which is kind of neat. So every 4 hours you can put down a mailbox wherever you are, and everybody around you can use it.
Wow.
So if you're in a raid and everybody's like, I'm full, I'm going to go, we can just put down the mailbox. But anyway,
I did some cool stuff like that.
It should just have a big, mail to your bank alt.
Yeah, no kidding.
With one button. You should be able to put that in your UI, set your alt, and then just male to all.
One thing you were talking about, Eric, though, I really think that there is something to be said for not having things be easy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't necessarily agree that everything should be easy peasy. Oh, hey, I don't ever have to worry about bag space. I don't ever have to worry about this. But so, you know, some of the times, like, I didn't really like the mining change that they did. I think where when all you do is mine it once and you get all the stuff in it.
Oh, right.
Because I felt like that's part of the experience. You know, you go around, you see the stuff, you hit it, and I don't know. I think that there are certain things about the game that provide ambiance, but remove some of the ease of play, and I don't necessarily think those things are always bad.
They changed that?
Yeah. So you can't share anymore.
Oh, wow.
You can't share a node. Once you mine it, you get everything off of it.
And it's quicker.
But you hit it once and you get everything.
Yeah, you go tink, 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 and then you get it all.
I haven't played my here's the other problem. My engineer is the miner too. That's fun. I love engineering. Like, my main is an engineer too. Yeah. Like, everything, I just want to be the engineer because I do like all the toys. But
you know, one thing that is a hassle that is time consuming and totally you don't need it at all is flying. Like, not flying free will, but just like a flight path.
Right.
You know, they could simply put teleporters everywhere, right? But, you know, that's one of those things that I don't want that to be easier.
No.
I want it to take a long time, or else it'll be abused. It'll be like, you know...
within reason.
Right.
Like, it took me 11 minutes to fly somewhere yesterday in the
that world. Flight from Tanaris to
Undercity or something.
You know, all that.
Or no, I mean on the other side.
Yeah, all the way up to Dark Shore or something like that. That's just a ridiculous flight, and I agree that they need to have something that prevents you from making that flight. But at the same time, there's also that epic feel. The first time you fly over a zone that you can't walk in yourself, and you're flying it over, and you're looking down at all the big monsters, you're like, ooh, that's so cool. You know, that's a feeling you just can't.
No, I agree. I think there should be, I think you should unlock it.
Yeah.
Like, as you level up and you've experienced these areas, you know, I don't need to fly over the Barrens ever again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want teleporters, because that was the problem with EverQuest, and I always go back to EverQuest because it was the first MMO that I played.
Yeah.
But they introduced the Plane of Knowledge. And in the Plane of Knowledge, there was a portal to every single city. So now, when it used to take you literally 4 hours to run from the barbarian's homeworld to like the humans, you can now do it in 10 seconds. That took a lot out of the game to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, especially as a newbie, I have to run out of this place completely blind because you put a cave between me and the outer world, and as a barbarian, I can't see in the dark. So I had to buy a lantern. You know, it's all these little things, and it doesn't seem like much, but once you add it up, it makes it a little more real, a little more this, a little more this world. And when you take all that away, it's like, well, what's the point?
It abstracts it too much. It's like when you play certain board games. You know, you can create abstract board games where but it has a real world component. Like, you can take a Risk style game, you know, and it provides ambiance to have it look like the world, and you put your troops on the countries and you attack from. But if you were to take that and just make it into a grid of circles, it would be the exact same game, but it wouldn't have the feel. And that's what you get out of some of these things. Yeah. I know that I keep my hearth at Shat. And the reason I do is because I can take the teleporters to any, big city and then fly wherever I want to go, in the old world.
So did that destroy the game though? I mean,
but you still have most of the vibe there. I think that's accomplishing what Brent wants, is you want to minimize it, but not remove it.
There's a fine line, right? Like I'm up in Dalaran. That's where I do. And I can get to any other world really fast, but then once I'm there, I've got to either fly or I've got to run if it's old world. It's not like I can't just because I actually cleared out all of Kalimdor on Saturday while I was watching BlizzCon. I was like, I need to finish this achievement, right? Getting all the worlds covered. So I went and cleared out Kalimdor.
I noticed that.
And it took all day long.
I kept seeing
but it felt like an achievement.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't feel like it took me 5 minutes to do. It's like I still have half a world to finish. You know, and once I finish that, my title will mean something to me. Whereas if I could just teleport from each thing to each thing and then have 10 minutes later have a title.
And you remember how mad mages got when Shatrith came out, or BC came out, and Shatrith had all these teleporters. They were like, that took away their big thing. It was like, well, now anybody can just port, Yeah,
and now there's like weird things. There's portals from the main cities to Badlands. I don't know if y'all seen those yet. But like if you go up to Badlands. Like so you can get straight to BC real fast. Blasted Lands. Oh, Blasted Lands.
Okay, yeah.
So you just take that portal, and I haven't actually taken it yet because I haven't had a reason to go to,
Oh, what about teleporting straight to a battleground?
Yeah.
And not having to go to...
you remember hanging out in the caves next to...
Yeah. They took that away, too. It was like, at first you have to go to the location. Then they're like, well, how about there's just a dude in the big cities? How about it's just some UI window that pops up?
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, and to me, it's funny because it was either something they didn't think of or they thought it would be detrimental. And they had to wait for another game to try it out and see how it worked. Like after Warhammer did it, they said, it looks like that actually works well. It didn't mess with anything, and people like that, so let's do it, Yeah. And so I like that aspect of Blizzard, that they will pull in these things, like the guild achievements and things like that, and then achievements in themselves.
See, I'm 50-50 on it. I think that I always liked the fact that you hung out in one place and like you would see people and it was a hangout joint.
It was, yeah.
And you'd be there even at the Battlemaster, you would have people hanging out at the Battlemaster and you would see people and you go, hey, what are you, I don't know. And now
you can inspect people. You could pull out your Murloc costume. You could, do silly things.
And they're still doing that. They're doing it in a different way though. Like in Dalaran. That's the reason you can't fly, right? Because they want you to be around everybody. And if you just flew into your dot where you need to go and you were done and you flew out, it would be a ghost town, right? But now you go in there and it's like, how do you fit all these people in this city?
That's true.
It's a big bustling world. And if you had all these like battlegrounds, and half the people are, I'm here, this battleground, and I've got to run to this battleground. So I get there and I'm like, there's no one here. It's taking me all day. Let me go to this other one, and then Arena Master over here, and then it would spread out everybody.
I liked the Battle Masters, and even and when there was only a few battlegrounds, I even liked having to go to the area where the battleground was.
Yeah, I like that too. And now it says that those guys are still there, but they're called the ex-Battle Masters. Yeah. And they're still standing there, and then you talk to them, they're like, at one time, this was a great place. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, it's just another sad thing, I guess.
Again, I agree. I think there are ways to speed up the game, and there are ways where now, like the bag thing that brought all this on. I think we're past. Bags are more important than worrying about how many soul shards somebody has nowadays. The realism behind soul shards. Yeah. I don't think making Dalaran cooking awards take up a slot is important. Or honor hold. Reward
all the badges and crap, that are now just on a currency tab.
Yeah, and I think that's smart. I don't think it's that important.
So maybe it was important at the time, and now it's just not. Yeah, maybe that's it, right?
Do like bags though, like the concept of having separate bags and being able to have them as drops or being able to have them made.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't ever go to like here's your bag, right? Your original backpack, and it just gets bigger as you level up.
Right.
I hope they don't ever go to that. I want my 5 slots.
I do wish your original backpack was would grow though with the size of your largest bag.
Yeah. I agree. I think that would be a nice little bonus, right? You get one big new backpack, and you actually get 2 new spaces.
Now, how long have we been going on this podcast?
2 hours so far.
Hour and a half so far.
Okay.
Let's go. Do
we want to do the open Q&A?
Yeah, let's just look down there. Let's get out of class discussions panel. Q&A. This is, let's see.
They obviously didn't have any druids at that panel because there was nothing.
Nothing. Let's see. They have some guild leveling system questions here. That's pretty cool. The idea behind the guild leveling system is to make people want to be in guilds and make people feel better about being in a guild. The goal is to take that feature and make it the best they can. Okay.
I really wish they would come out with some kind of housing, guild housing.
I do too.
Yeah, they talked about it, remember?
I always thought it was going to be there in Stormwind, that instance part of Stormwind.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, if you take a right, like you're heading towards the old town, and then if you turn to the right, there was that instance portal down there. And I really always thought that's what was going to be down there was guild housing. And I really think that they need to ponder it at this point in time.
Because, to me, it's like, I think they get more benefit out of it than they do loss. I think their issue with it is that whole making it look like everybody's here.
Yeah.
Right. You throw in guild housing, all suddenly where does everybody hang out?
Right.
At their guild houses.
Yeah.
Like if you put everything in the guild houses, which is what else are you going to do with the guild houses if they're not there? But to me, it still seems like you need, I don't know. To me, there's, that's why I call it home, Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if it was like you had your guild houses and you had to go out of it to do a lot of stuff,
right?
But you can still go back to your house and like see all your trophies and and things like that. I think there's so much they could do with them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Some things here. They say that dancing is still in the works.
Dancing.
This is, remember they talked about having it where you could like mix mash your dances and stuff and actually have a longer dance. And,
okay.
I forget where they announced that. That was somewhere weird, I think.
That's a whole lot of work for nothing. I mean, it's cosmetic stuff. I guess
that's one thing I think actually that WoW misses out on a lot that they could really, and this goes with the guild housing or personal housing, is role playing. They threw up role playing servers whenever, and they whatever their hodgepodge role play rules that doesn't really get followed or whatever. But really throw in more. And they did a little bit, they added in like wedding rings and things like that, but really go full tilt and add in just a crap load of resources for people to be able to role play with. Being able to really work with macros and stuff, making emotes that maybe you use a emote, but it says something different and things like that, stuff like that. But
yeah, I don't think they even mentioned emotes. I don't remember any discussion about new emotes. It's kind of sad because I like that. I like animations.
What panel are we in?
We're under Q&A.
Q&A.
They say that the races are all going to have updated racial abilities with Cataclysm, and that they're going to be similar to what goblins have.
Now, did y'all see those?
I heard there's one listed here: increased health, mana potion effects.
Well, yeah, I was just looking over them. They actually have like 6 of them. Shoot, where did that go? I think that was in the preview, actually. But they're going to have like the one I thought was really weird was their +2 alchemy skill. Like, wouldn't you think goblins would have +2 engineering? I mean, that's just, it's almost like gnomes, right?
Yeah. They're
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the horde side. Shouldn't they have +2? I don't know.
Yeah. Here are the racials. Best deals anywhere. You always get the best price regardless of faction. Pack Hobgoblin calls your personal servant, allowing you bank access for 1 minute with a 30-minute cooldown.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh my god!
Well, you know why this is easier to add in, because like with all the new Crusade stuff, you can actually work up to getting a squire that gives you will like run stuff to the mailbox for you and stuff like that.
Funny.
So,
Wow. Better living through chemistry. Alchemy skills increased by 15. Rocket Barrage launches your belt rockets at an enemy, dealing fire damage. Rocket Jump activates your rocket belt to jump forward. And then racial, time is money, 1% increased attack and casting speeds. Wow, those are really good.
And compare those with the Worgans. Well, they only list 4, but they get 1% bonus damage. They get a +70 run speed for 10 seconds. Aberration duration of curses and diseases reduced by 15%. And skinning +15. So you're probably missing a few there. I don't know. I don't know. The goblins one seems weird to me. It's like they give them all these that tend to lead to engineering thoughts, right? All these like rocket this and blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But then they give them alchemy. I'm just stuck on this giving them chemistry and alchemy instead of engineering. I don't know.
Well, anyway, that's kind of those. So everyone's going to get some updated racials. So that's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Next, we talked about the guild leveling system. There's going to be guild heirloom items, which are kind of fascinating.
Yeah, and these are things you'll be able to buy as you're leveling up your guild. It's kind of like Warhammer, right? You had that guild NPC that sold stuff. Well, it'll be patterns, recipes, items, and here's the coolest thing: if you leave the guild, you lose that stuff. It goes to the guild bank.
Yeah.
So it keeps people in the guild, right?
Right.
So someone can't just join the guild to get that cool item because they have the big guild and unlocked all this stuff and then leave.
Right.
And they go join. It's like,
that's pretty sweet.
No, and I like that. They did a lot of stuff with the guild leveling system to try to make it where, you're going to have a lot less guild jumpers. Like, you're going to want to stay in this guild. I assume. I don't know. I mean, like, what happens in a year when everybody's 20th level guild and everybody has the same stuff?
Yeah.
Aren't you just back to the same thing?
Well, the problem is the trees are going to make sure that different guilds have different stuff.
Right.
So, this is one that really bothers me. This is under professions. Armorsmith and weaponsmith, blah, 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 specializations are not going to be important anymore.
So no specialization of professions, basically.
I'm not a big fan of that.
I don't know why. Maybe they have something else in mind.
Well, I think that's exactly what they said. They like when you were a blacksmith, you had to like specialize down to that one axe that you wanted to make because you wanted it, right?
That's true. I mean,
and so now you were locked out of making any of this other stuff on this tree because there was that one weapon that actually worked for you.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I kind of like specializations. I think that now you have a market where you can make that axe, or
No, is this specializing within weaponsmith, or is this picking weaponsmith as your specialization? Well, do you still have to go weapon or armor? Is that what they're saying, or is it going to be all of a sudden I'm going to be able to make both weapons and armor and none of it matters?
I think they're saying the different, just like you said, you can pick 3 different things within being a weaponsmith.
I think it's basically staying as it is, right? In the new expansion, you didn't have to make any kind of those decisions. Okay. Right? You basically reset every expansion. You're not going to make any of that crap that was in the last expansion. Right?
I didn't know anything about that you had to specialize even within weaponsmith. I didn't know that.
Wasn't that the case? Didn't you have to specialize even further to make axes or something over swords? And
yeah,
there was like
sword.
Wait! In Burning Crusade, tailors had to go Mooncloth or
Primal or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So it was like that.
Yeah.
I agree that that's not important
because I could be a hammerman and axe.
That's a little too far.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like I agree with maybe like weaponsmith, armorsmith, or like goblin and gnomish engineering.
Yeah. But stop trying to drill it down so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
So herbs and ore nodes will be re-itemized. Okay,
big whoop.
We'll see what that means.
They talked about retooling the XP in Battlegrounds because people were leeching.
Okay, so but it needs to be fixed. I don't know if that'll be. Did they mention a patch or anything?
They didn't, so it's probably not. A lot of this stuff.
So
is
go leech. Go leech now before they fix it.
A lot of the stuff that they answered was so vague. Like there might be more character slots available.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of this comes from the Q&A, right, where someone comes up and asks a question and they don't know the answer, so they make up something that's.
Well, they were probably not allowed to talk about it because it wasn't concrete, so they didn't want to, give wrong information. So they just kind of like. Maybe.
Now here's something kind of cool, and means you need to go out and kill an Ixia now to get the achievement, because after 3.2.2 there won't be an earlier version. It'll just be the new version of an Ixia. So level 60 will not be able to do it. You'll have to wait till you're 80.
So let's go do that. I want to do it.
Yeah,
I do.
I need to make sure I've done it. I'm not sure now that I think about it.
It's a sad thing. My first character I played up was that hunter, and our guild is at 60. We were doing molten core, blah blah. We could never get an Ixia down for whatever reason. We got to the second stage and we'd always get screwed up by the breath. And I loved how they were playing off the breath all weekend long. More randomization in the breath. Maybe we should stand close together. But we can never do it. So now I want to go in and do it. I got her to almost to the second phase.
Didn't you solo her almost?
No, I almost got to the second phase.
Okay.
Yeah.
She does a lot of fire, and I wasn't equipped at the time. I was still in greens and stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to go back and try, but anyway.
Let's see here. There's some Q&A about each class, but I don't really want to get into that because those are kind of like what ifs, maybes, whatever. Well,
I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about here.
Yeah. What's about all the exciting things?
There are no plans to prevent paladins and shamans from using cloth, but there will be discussions to limit it somehow. That always drove me nuts. As a cloth wearer, if we were raiding, it seemed to me, without question, that if a cloth piece came up that a cloth wearer wanted, they should have first dibs on it. And I had some people in an old guild like argue with me about it, you know?
Oh,
because there was
probably one of them.
Yeah, didn't we have that debate actually? Because I think I said there was a.
Well, it was on.
It was about
cloth.
It was about that healing piece.
And we got a bad review on iTunes because of that conversation.
But it's a good discussion. But ultimately, it comes down to bad. To me, it's Blizzard's fault. Like it shouldn't be an issue. Like it should just be if it's cloth, only cloth people can wear
that
it.
argument was about a year and a half ago, wasn't it?
It was.
Wow.
And basically, I still agree with it. I think it's like, I'm sorry, it's cloth. It has the best stats for my class. You know, it's like I'm gonna roll on it, and live with it. But really, it just needs to be where that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Where they just need to say, look, you wear leather, you wear cloth, you wear plate, you wear chain.
Yeah,
live with it.
But yeah, that made me mad because I felt like I should get first dibs. You know, based
There's a lot of people that agree with you.
Yeah.
I think our guild did. Like, we had that episode, and I had, like, one of the guys in the guild go, well, we've never really actually said, like... And I was like, all right, that's just kind of what we thought. So glad it never came up. That's what she said.
All right.
Sure.
Do we want to cover...
You want to go out to another panel?
We're going to go out to the game systems panel?
Yeah, game systems.
Well, I don't know anything about this one.
This is... just about everything. Rated Battlegrounds. This is going to basically change Battlegrounds into more like arena.
That's
arena
crazy.
Points.
I don't know how I feel about that. I guess that just means probably playing Battlegrounds more. I don't know. I mean, it's like having a ladder system, right?
Yeah, I think it's something added. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to keep the old honor points, right? And you'll get honor points for doing all the killing people.
I haven't done a Battleground in forever.
You know, I haven't either. But now that you can gain XP in it, I'm definitely going to try it out. I mean, why wouldn't I? I'm leveling.
I got to try that out. I wonder if that works with the friend thing, too. Like, have you tried it out at all?
Nope. Not since I started playing.
But you get experience just for killing someone, right?
I don't know that either.
Huh.
I mean, I just reactivated my account on Friday, so I'll check it out. Maybe tonight. I don't know.
Okay. So, I mean, that maybe change. It may. We got a year and a half. It just Battlegrounds is going to change. It always changes.
Yeah.
You know.
I wouldn't mind if they went back to the old system of ranks and titles. Remember? Mm-hmm. That was cool. I like that. It was hardcore, but you know they're losing the hardcore edge, obviously, by making things simple and easy. And frankly, now that they're fighting for my time, and I have lots of other things going on, I don't mind the fact that they're getting casual and frail and weak.
So under guild leveling, and this is one of the things that I couldn't remember what happened, but once you reach level 20, you actually still get a guild experience that is used now as a currency to buy things like mounts, profession, plans, banners, potions, rare regents, and guild talent respecs. And one of the cool things I liked is they mentioned that it's like mounts with your guild tabard on it. and you'll be able to buy standards with your guild tabard on it. So like after you have a big fight, you can throw your standard down and then get a guild picture, you know, with like everybody in their tabards and
I like that idea
and stuff like that. That's a little bit of role playing stuff. That's cool.
That's true.
I like that.
I like any sort of currency, any kind of store. I loved factions and buying things when you're of whatever, you know, faction with different people or different reputations. I like the whole currency buying stuff, you know. I mean, they can add that all day long. I'm hooked on that. I think that's one of the addicting qualities of WoW is trying to get enough of X so that I can get this shiny. So why wouldn't they do that? I think that's great.
Yeah, and some other things on the guild stuff is they're going to add a news feed. So it'll show like boss kills and items looted and things like that. I'm assuming that you'll be able to see in your guild info or whatever. This actually, they did a lot of looking at Warhammer, I think, on the guild system, because I think they did a pretty good job, except for how you got experience in the guild system for Warhammer. But that's one of the things that comes from that. I think you can check other people's professions in your guild to see what recipes they can make. So you
I
can
think
look
that's
for
yeah. See,
cool.
these are any tool that allows you to interact within your guild, I think, is positive.
Yeah. And another one is good for the smaller guilds. You'll be able to invite other guilds to your guild events through the in-game calendar.
That's awesome.
Which will be nice.
That'll make you essentially create alliance-y sort of things.
Yeah. So that's really cool. But I wish I guess you don't need an alliance, but it would be nice to just have like that setting where you could kind of interconnect two guilds a little more. Like say, okay, I will give you this option to see everything on my calendar or whatever.
That's cool.
Okay, so do we want to go over the mastery system? They think there's too many talents right now. They want to make talents more fun and useful.
They want to make fishing more fun. They said you can definitely expect fishing to be funner.
Yeah, somebody mentioned somewhere it was going to be more like Animal Crossing. Has anybody ever played any Animal Crossing fishing?
Yeah.
I did.
Is it fun?
No. I didn't think so.
I was trying to think what was Animal Crossing like? You had the fishing pole and you could see the fish swimming around, and so you walked over and you fished.
Yeah, you can see the fish. It was like a big fish going through, and I remember it being really annoying. Now I can't remember the exact mechanics, but I remember I could see the fish and I would be chasing it down the river. I guess it's more interactive. I guess that's what they're looking for, not just brain dead clicking on something. I could see that. I'm just...
See, what I do is whenever I cast, I flip over to something else, and then I listen for the splash, and then I flip back to the WoW window and I reel it in.
Oh, really?
I actually I actually go to a web page, or I read something and then I wait for the splash sound, and then I go back to my WoW window.
Okay. Actually, now that I think of it, I think it was just you drop in the water and you wait for something to swim by, but you see the fish, and it was just running after them and chasing them down. It's kind of like now you just look for a little swirly thing and throw it in there.
And nobody fishes except for special places anymore. Like you don't fish outside of pools or
the school or
the fountains. The
schools of fish. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I don't fish at all,
except for the dailies.
I got up to 380 today. I'm up to 380 fishing today.
Really?
Yep.
I fished the ghost fish without a pool. The daily fish. Yeah. There's one daily fishing fish. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Eric, where you have to, in the boring tundra where you kill animals and you turn red. Because then if you go near the PETA folks, they kill you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what you do is you go kill an animal to get all red, and then you jump in the water to wash the blood off, and it makes a pool that then attracts little fish to it. Then you fish out of that pool.
Really?
So I thought that was kind of a cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, they do have some really neat mechanics for some of the things this time.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Okay, so Path of the Titans, we kind of talked about that. That's like the new AA.
And that's probably something pretty complicated that will change again.
Yeah.
And again and again.
So that panel's gone.
Which is good, because we've been going too long.
We have.
You think so? Do we have any more panels?
We have raids and dungeons panel.
I think we can skip that, right?
Well, there'll be some mechanics, hopefully, maybe. I don't remember. Let's see. I'll have to see. Cross server, looking for group tool.
Oh, that is a big one, but that's not even...
that's going to be in a new patch.
Yeah, that's in the 3.30.
So that's going great to see because you can finally get a group to go to
anywhere,
Dead Mines or Wheeling Caverns, any of your low level things that no one wants to go to anymore. Even like old dead ones like Molten Core, you could find groups to go there now. That'd be cool.
Now, what I thought was cool is they're adding in a kind of a reward system into it above what you get from the dungeons. Like, you'll be able to set yourself as a leader. So if you've done this dungeon a lot and you're like, I can get us to this dungeon, I'm going to sign myself up as a leader, and then other people join you up. You actually get something after you're done with the dungeon extra, because you were the leader.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So I don't know what it is, if it's points or badges or what, but you'll get something.
Let's see here. I don't really want to talk about specific ones. Ice Crown, Citadel.
We do have Nixia's 5th anniversary. There's a lot of info out there, and I'm sure everybody's already read pretty much about everything. The one thing... I think they even released what the pet was for the 5th anniversary. If you log in during the 5th anniversary, it's a little Nixia whelpling that you'll get.
That's cool.
And I loved he was talking about that some of its emotes it'll do is it'll try to do a deep breath sometimes, and it'll just come out steam and stuff. It's all upset.
That's neat. I went to Ogremar yesterday, and Anixia's head was on a pike. It seems to be there all the time now.
Because people are soloing it and just going back and getting that buff. I mean, it's still a decent buff.
Yeah. And, the achievement, I guess. I guess these are all pretty specific to new instances. Old instances are getting revamped. Looks like Nefarian will be returning to the Blackwing Descent, which is a raid instance.
And there's also a leveling dungeon they're going to add in there with all new models. It's going to be a complete redesign of some stuff in there.
That's cool. And I don't know. I don't see any new mechanics or anything like that. There was a lot of talk about new mechanics in 2008's BlizzCon.
I think they'd come out with all this new stuff with mounts. I mean, a lot of it was mounts to me. It was. They figured out all these new things they could do with mounts, and that was, to me, the theme of everything. Mounts.
Yeah.
And I still haven't done whichever one where you jump on the flying things and, like, the dragons, and you basically turn into a different class.
Oh.
Like, the dragons are a class, and so you're doing those. I haven't done that one yet.
You talking about A level stuff?
No, I think it's maybe in Nexus or somewhere like that.
Oh,
somewhere near the Nexus. I don't know where it is. I'm making up stuff.
All right. Well. So we have a couple of things we'll put in the show notes. Specifically, the race and class combinations matrix, so you can see that. Also, the Cataclysm map, so you can actually see the new zones where they're going to be. The big, seven new zones. And let's see here. Anything else? We'll go ahead and put a link down for each panel with the rundown. This is probably all stuff that everybody's already seen, but so I guess this has been a pretty long episode.
I think this is going to be our longest. I mean, by far. Because I think your BlizzCon last year was only about an hour long.
Yeah, we were slackers back then.
Yeah, well, there wasn't much to talk about.
So do we want to go into...
No.
Okay.
No, we're done.
How about speculation for the next expansion?
I think it's going to... We didn't even talk about Battle.net. Does that have anything to do with WoW?
Why don't we save that for next week? Let's have something to talk about next week. Let's talk about the things that are going to roll in with Battle.net.
And a little teaser.
What's that?
I think I've pegged out what their new MMO is going to be.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk all about it in the next one.
Oh, that sounds good. So for those just tuning in and checking out the show for the first time, we've been on hiatus for a long time, but we're back, and we do this every single Sunday. You can check us out on Ustream. Go to deadworkers.com/live, and you can watch us every Sunday. Go to deadworkers.com/network and check out 14, 15 different shows that we have on our network, doing lots of different games. Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead. We got a lot of shows. And so, yeah, that's about it. You can follow us on Twitter as well. I'm Nailhead. Wes is Wes Wilson. Brent is Brent Copeland. We have a Dead Workers account, so you can check that out. And so we don't have a WoW account for Twitter, but I don't think we need any more.
No, we just you're doing it through Dead Workers, right?
Yeah, Dead Workers is good enough. Yeah. So if you like this show, give us a good review on iTunes. That'd be swell.
Yeah, I don't think we've had one for this show in quite a while.
Yeah, probably not. Probably at least 2008, maybe. Yeah. So anyway, that is it.
Yeah. So and let's call into the instance and let them know that we're back, all of you. Like, how awesome would that be? Like, 20 people. I'm being realistic here. 20 people listen to the episode. So, for it to work, every one of you has to do this. Call the instance and tell them we're back. Yeah. They'll be quaking.
Quaking.
I don't see that happening. Unless you mean Quake as in the game.
But how awesome would it be? I'm going to actually resubscribe and listen to the instance this next week.
All right, that's it. We're leaving for real. Take it easy.
Congratulations. Well done. So you just got to the end of another episode of The World of WoW.
Yeah. All right.
Check out podcast series brought to you by the Dead Workers Party.
See the show notes and download trailers at wow.deadworkers.com.
Leave us voicemail at area code 256-513-4772.
Till we meet again.
Dead Workers Party Network. It's like sex times bacon.